You are sitting in the quiet safety of your living room, the house settled into a familiar evening hush, when you notice your dog's ears suddenly pivot toward the window with the precision of a satellite dish. Their entire body goes rigid, their fur might slightly ripple along their spine, and they let out a low, guttural vibration that is more felt than heard. You look outside and see nothing but the empty street, assuming they are just reacting to a passing car, or perhaps they've been startled by the settling of the house. But if you could witness the world through the hypersensory predictive grid of their brain, you would realize that you are witnessing a sophisticated early warning system that has been fine-tuned over 30,000 years of survival. This isn't about paranoia in the way we humans define it. It is a multi-layered sensory interception that detects threats long before they enter our field of vision. While you see a peaceful evening, your dog is experiencing a shift in the environment that signals a breach in the pack's security. There is a hidden biological logic behind every sudden alert, and once you understand the prediction psychology they are running, you'll realize that your dog isn't just sensing danger. They are literally hearing and smelling the future. Think about the way you feel when you have a gut instinct that something is wrong. You assume it's a mysterious sixth sense, but for a dog, that instinct is a physical, measurable data point. One of the most incredible ways they sense danger is through infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that the human ear is physically incapable of detecting. Before an earthquake, a storm, or even a large machinery failure, the earth and the atmosphere emit subaudible rumbles. While you are calmly drinking your tea, your dog is feeling the ground beneath them vibrating with the voice of an approaching disaster. In psychological terms, this is pre-attentive sensory processing. They are receiving a warning from the planet itself. It is a moment of profound, invisible engineering, a reminder that while we have built a world of technology, our dogs remain connected to the ancient seismic warnings of the Earth, ensuring that the pack is never truly blindsided by the elements. This predictive power goes even deeper when you consider the barometric shift that occurs during atmospheric changes. You might notice your dog becomes suddenly restless or hides in a safe spot hours before a single drop of rain falls, and the common assumption is that they are just scared of thunder. However, what is really happening is that your dog is sensing a dramatic drop in air pressure. This shift affects their inner ear and even the way scents travel through the air. They can smell the ozone of an approaching storm from miles away, and they can feel the static electricity building in the atmosphere. They are conducting a meteorological audit of the den. It is a brilliant display of environmental mastery, proving that for a dog the weather isn't a surprise, it's a narrative they've been reading for hours. They are essentially a living, breathing barometer, providing a window of time for the pack to find shelter before the first bolt of lightning strikes. As you begin to see your dog as this intuitive, threat-predicting partner, even the most random boof at the darkness starts to feel like a high-level act of dedication. You start to realize that their fear isn't a weakness, but rather the hard-won tool of a species that has survived by never assuming the world is as safe as it looks. This journey into the hidden mechanics of the canine mind is what we explore here every week, unmasking the complex storytelling that happens in the silence of their vigilance. If you're starting to appreciate the silent sentry who refuses to let a single vibration go unexamined, joining this community by subscribing is your way of promising to listen when they tell you the world is changing. We are learning to translate the language of the alert together, because in the secret world of the pack, the most important information is often the stuff we can't see or hear. By staying curious, you aren't just an owner. You are becoming a partner in a legacy of survival that spans across the history of our two species, ensuring that no matter what is coming, you face it together. But the mystery of the danger sense takes a fascinating turn when we look at the concept of micro-expression detection in strangers. Have you ever noticed that your dog is perfectly friendly with everyone, except for one specific person who makes them growl or retreat? The common assumption is that the person smells like a cat, or that your dog is just being moody. But the reality is that dogs are masters of biological honesty. They can detect the microscopic, involuntary physical signals of human aggression or deception, things like a slight increase in pupil dilation, a sudden tensing of the jaw, or a spike in adrenaline-scented sweat. They are profiling the intent of the stranger. In canine psychology, this is a form of social threat assessment. They are seeing the wolf underneath the human mask. It is a ritual of absolute transparency, where they refuse to let a threat hide behind a polite smile, proving that for a dog, the truth of a person is written in their physiology, not their words. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood aspects of the danger sense, the sudden stop on a walk. You might be walking down a trail and your dog suddenly freezes, refusing to move forward even for a treat, and you assume they are just being stubborn, or they've found a scent they want to linger on. But the twist is that this is often a spatial blockade. If a dog detects the scent of a predator, like a coyote or a bear, or senses a structural danger, like a downed power line or a weak bridge, their survival instinct overrides their training. They are physically preventing you from entering a zone of risk. They are using their body as a living stop sign. It is a moment of high-stakes biological leadership, proving that, for a dog, the greatest service they can provide is to be the one who says no when the world says go. They aren't ignoring your commands. They are following a higher mandate of protection. The powerful insight that reframes everything we've discussed is the realization that your dog's sense of danger is a rejection of the ignorant life. In the end, we have to ask ourselves, why would a creature spend its entire life monitoring the air for threats we don't even believe in? The answer is that your dog understands something we often forget, that the pack is only as safe as its most vigilant member. They don't see the world as a playground. They see it as a landscape of variables. Every time they ears up and head tilt at the silence, they are reinforcing the idea that your safety is their primary responsibility. It is a ritual of absolute, unshielded commitment. When they finally relax and give that all-clear tail wag, they aren't just finished with a task. They are satisfied that they have successfully navigated another hour of the unknown. The true emotional depth of this behavior reveals itself when you realize that your dog is the only creature on earth that will choose to stay on high alert just so you don't have to. They spend their hours processing a constant stream of data through their ears, nose, and paws, all while staying physically connected to you so you never feel the prickle of fear. The alert isn't a nuisance. It's a soul-level vow. It is the behavior of a creature that knows exactly how much you mean to them and how much they have to lose if they ever let their guard down. When you finally understand that their anxiety is actually a high-level act of psychological vigilance and soul-level devotion, your relationship changes. You stop seeing a dog who is scared of everything and start seeing a friend who is watching everything. In the end, we have to recognize that your dog is the only creature that will treat a quiet afternoon like a high-stakes mission. They don't need a reason to be careful. They only need a recipient for their care. They are the silent partners in our security, the ones who believe that you are worth every bit of their concentration. They aren't just pets who bark at the mailman. They are masters of the perimeter, researchers of the spirit who have decided that your life is a story worth standing guard over, forever. The next time your dog freezes in the dark or gives that low, vibrating growl at the empty air, don't just dismiss it or tell them to be quiet. Take a second to realize that in that moment, You're being looked after by an ancient sentinel who has detected a ripple in the universe that you are too loud to hear. Trust their nose. Trust their ears. Trust the fact that they've been keeping humans safe since the dawn of time. Your dog doesn't sense danger because they're afraid. They sense it because they've decided that as long as they are with you, the world has a reason to be kept in check.